Alrighty, welcome back folks, Roth here. I think tonight we're going to be doing some art. Yeah, hopped on quite late. I think Sonic has been playing a bit of Scribble. Good on him, nice. There we go. Alright, let's boot this up. It was an update, so I made sure to patch it up before we boot this up. Wait, is it even going on? Ready to launch, here we go. Hopefully this picks up. There we go. Scribble it, scribble it. Testing, testing. Is there something wrong with the me avatar? Oh boy. Hold up, hold up. I think there's might be an issue with the avatar. I'm gonna try and fix it real quick. Also, I hope the outer levels are fine. Testing, testing. Wow. I'm not sure if... Oh, I think I know why. Wait a sec. Let me try this real quick. Testing? Oh. Is the canvas in like a different resolution? No, I didn't get to test drive this scene, so you might not see my avatar animate as it normally would. So I may have to keep it to how it is right now, because it would take a little bit of time to adjust it. I should have foreseen this happen, but I guess I'll fix it when it's you know, on the off time. Alright, let's head into the draw mode. This is Scribble, by the way, just in case folks who are just dropping in and wondering what this is. It's a free application or free game that you can find on Steam. I found it on Steam through the Steam queue one day, and it looked pretty fun. It's supposed to be an online Pictionary game, but it has this free draw mode, and I've done quite a few drawings already. So I think tonight I'm going to start with a new art brick. I can also bring up an old one that I did, and then continue to work on it, but I can break up an old one. I'm going to adjust the volume a little bit, just so it's not too loud. I think I want to, you know, since Friday the 13th is coming up, I want to try and do a drawing of Jason Voorhees. Wait, why is the audio just went like... See, that should be like the default. Yeah, I'll keep it at 40 for now. Send with a wave. Let's paint the background black. Also, let's name this to Jason. don't know. Should I put like Retro Jason or Jason NES? Friday 13th NES? I don't know. There's like so many different ways to call it. I think Retro Jason. Something like this. Because we're going with the I want to make it more interesting, so I think giving it the NES color palette, I think would help it look more interesting. He's also got like Scion, so his Nintendo Entertainment System. There was a video game back on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and he's got the colors for his sprite. His 8-bit sprite is cyan and then purple. So he's got this purple outfit and cyan colored mask. Let me see if I can find the right colors. So these are the tools here for this this program. You get the brush, get the eraser, the paint bucket fill. Here's the simple color palette. Size of the brushes, there's only 3 of them, but you can scroll the mouse wheel to enlarge, decrease the size. Simple shapes, circle, square, triangle. There's a line tool. Field version of the shapes. Save, undo, redo, delete, and so on. That's pretty much it. And then there's also the advanced tab where you can get the color wheel. So I think from here I can turn the triangle around and select like different colors and stuff. It's also the eyedropper and then the transparency bar. So I'm gonna adjust it according to how, you know, I think I would need to. Let's see. I think I'm gonna try and look for the cyan color. Let me see. I'm trying to think of the pose. I want to try and base it off the one that was featured in the recent Friday the 13th video game. I think it's just called Friday the 13th The Game. This might be a little too bright of a color, but yeah, I feel like I should probably do the background first. Let's go for a lighter cyan. Could probably do like purple. Yeah, I used to draw Jason a lot when I was younger. I was a big fan. Probably my favorite of the horror icons, slasher horror icons. At least when I, you know, back then. And I think over time, when I got older, I think my taste started to change and update. There was a time when I really liked Freddy Krueger a lot, but that's when I got older. I still love Freddy Krueger, but I was into other Wes Craven films. Shocker was another one. I think that was 1986 when it came out, but I saw it when at a really young age. Just around that time where you'd have all the horror icons and stuff. Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, and Chucky, of course. But Shocker was, you know, that other guy. Then you got your slew of vampire films. I was certainly hooked on Fright Night and Vamp, especially Vamp. I feel like not a lot of people got to see Vamp. That was in 1986 as well. Let's see. Try how I can do his arms. I think I want to try to bend it. Something like this or something. But yes, Vamp never got a sequel or anything. It never been remade. But it always had this story. And some really odd visuals. Very unique. And just never... It just became this cult classic, I guess. Even though back then I didn't know what cult classic even means. But I continued to watch it. It's one of those movies that whenever I was bored, I was just like put in the VHS tape and you know, just start watching it. Like every part of that film, right from the music, right from the opening scene, and also the company logo with the New World pictures, I think, the red globe, and then the sounds. Once the sound starts playing during that scene, during that intro, like I just knew that I was in for a ride. And there's some cool, like, so many cool scenes in that film, and the colors used for that is just so, it's so very 80s. A lot of magenta and green, I think. There's a lot of green in there, and a lot of the camera angles were so, it was just very odd. But very visually appealing. Like even in hindsight, it's like such a classic film. Like visually impressive. And the soundtrack was so like odd. So 80s. Like it has to happen in the 80s, you know. I did a little video of that film, Vamp. When the Blu-ray came out, I think. I forget which Blu-ray or which edition that came out. Oh yeah, I believe it was the Arrow release. One of the first Arrow releases I got. So Arrow Video, which is the distribution label, they put a Blu-ray, and it did one for Vamp 86. I say the year because there's been other Vamp films not related to Vamp 86, although Vamp was like the first that used that title. So it's not confused with you know, other films with that title or shows. I think there was a show too. But yeah, Arrow Video did a release on it, and I think I got the pre-order of it, and I did a video on it and talking about my history with that film. But yeah, that's like one of the, you know, early vampire films for me. Seeing that, and also Nosferatu, I would see that in a lot of things. Man, it is gonna come out looking like neon and or something. Also, I think this is like probably the first like horror-related drawing that I do in Scribble. I remember drawing Jason when I was in 1st grade, and my cousin was like also into the horror franchises. Like they would show a lot of the Friday the 13th movies on TV. Whenever, you know, it would hit Friday the 13th, like the actual date. And I think TNT would be the channel that would play like marathon all the Jason movies or all the Chucky movies and so on. No, actually the Chucky movies play on USA Network. Yeah, that's what it was. USA Network. And but yeah, TNT was the channel that had like a whole bunch of horror related stuff. And I would catch them on there. So it's both TNT and USA. Those were the two channels, the two stations that would you know, play a lot of the horror stuff. It's been a while since I've been on Scribble. I think his hand is supposed to be like all cyan too. I should probably just like make it all. His arm's supposed to come out this way, I think. Anthony Castley, welcome in. I don't know if you've seen any of my other art, but usually it's on Wednesdays when like Wednesdays nights when I hop on to do some drawings. I've done a whole bunch before, but I've been meaning to make like quicker, like speed art or time-lapse versions of those some of those drawings, but they do take some time to make them. But I have a few up on the YouTube here or there. Trying to get Jason in since Friday the 13th is coming up on Friday. And since Wednesday is my only art day, this might as well, you know, say ahead of time. I think I'll probably give this guy an axe, because normally he would have a machete. That would be his signature weapon. But there's been moments where he's got axe, or he's got like a knife, and a whole mess of other things. Like there'll be a spear, not really a spear, like more of like an arrow, I think, that he used to kill the you know, some of the teenagers. I never got to play the Friday the 13th game. Well, I mean the new one. Actually, I got to play the Nintendo one, the old NES one, way back in the day. We never beat it. Me and my uncle sat in front of the TV, and whenever we encountered Jason, it's like, oh, it's a surprise, you know? But it never lasts long. We'd always die. We never figure out how to, you know, actually play that game and beat it. But the new one, or the recent one that, you know, who was it that made it? That Gun Media? I think it was Gun Media. Who I met at PAX East one year. Or you know, they had a booth at PAX East a couple years, I think. And they would bring Friday the 13th over, and also Layers of Fear. The same team worked on Layers of Fear, I think. And yeah, they would have Layers of Fear 2 over to PAX East, and I got to demo that. Yeah, but I think one year they had a panel at PAX East, and they announced a skin designed by Tom Savini, the special effects guy for the a lot of horror films, including Friday the 13th. And it was shown to the world for the first time, and I just happened to be sitting amongst the audience when they announced it. And the Savini skin had like flame, like Jason had, like he looked like a Cabernetti. He's got like flames coming out of his body, and he's got like a trident staff or whatever. It's pretty neat. It's like he just walked out of hell. It's all fiery, magma. It's pretty neat. And I think that skin made it into the game. I just never seen anyone or watch enough gameplay to see anyone use it. But I feel like it might have been like a DLC or something. DLC skin. Which was really cool again. They had some illegal issues though. I don't know the exact story, but that game had some legal issues or something. So they stopped updating it. And thus no one, barely anyone plays it now. I think it finally made its way over to Switch, and I've only seen a few people play it, or heard of them playing it. Not seen them, but they would talk about it and stuff. Namely the Switch version. Let's go with a brown handle here. Also, the raids are off tonight, so sorry for folks that want to raid. Keep it calm and chill tonight. As I work on, you know, this. I was thinking to maybe watch a Friday the 13th film or something. Possibly something, you know, Friday the 13th related. This Friday. And also, I figured this Friday. I watch it on like Sunday or something. Like, you know, on the weekend. Friday is close enough, but Friday because, you know, just to be on theme. And it's not often we get Friday the 13th to land in May, because as a matter of fact, the very first Friday the 13th film came out in May of 1980. So I think it was on May 9th or something like that. So yeah, we're reaching like the anniversary, or just around this time of year when the original film came out. Redeems hydrate? Oh, thanks. Yeah, I got my water. There we go. I actually just woke up from a nap, so I might sound a little groggy, which is usually the case. I gotta look up to see if any of the films are on any of the servers. I thought I saw them on HBO Max, but they may have taken them down by now, or at least the remake. I think the 2009 remake is at least on there. I don't think Jason X is on there anymore. It might be on Netflix though. But I've seen them too many times. Although the remake, the 2009 one, I haven't seen since like when it came out, when it was brand new. I think back then, like a lot of the slasher genre was like, it seemed like it was getting like a revival, sort of, like back then. A lot of the like slasher franchise was getting like a revival with remakes, along with Nightmare on Elm Street. I forget what year that was. But yeah, Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street had remakes. Let's see. It's a very, very light gray. I feel like I should, actually, I think this is fine. Kind of want to make note of how this is gonna look in widescreen, because this canvas here is not necessarily 16 by 9. It's like 5 by 4, I think. If I were to quickly calculate. Let's go a little lighter. Yeah, they had a crossover, Freddy vs. Jason, which I dig. That one was by John Chu, I think. Oh, or is it John M. Chu? I forget who it was that directed it. But the same guy, he was known for a lot of martial arts films. And Roy Lee, I think, was also responsible for that one. Like, he would be the guy that would brought like The Ring and The Grudge, Ju-On series over to the US. He was responsible for a lot of those, like that movement. Roy Lee, and he's still doing stuff now, even. Let's see, I should probably add the tip of the axe. And he's also worked on like a few of the superhero films. I forget which ones. But Roy Lee is definitely a name that you may have seen in a few films, but it's usually in the background. Doesn't really. There's not a lot of media that like interviews him or anything. Like, he usually worked in the background, like as a producer. I don't know how bright I want to make this, but it seems like it's gonna be like neon. It's gonna have like a neon look to it. All right, let me see if we can get some purple in. Because his outfit is very purple. Let's try and recolor this. Also, the black background definitely helps with this. I feel like his arm could... Actually, I think that's fine. I was thinking to maybe adjust the angle a bit or something. Boom, boom, boom. Also, his body, skin are also... I think his head back here is also purple. Just basing this off of the recent video game, because it also had a retro colored Jason skin on it. Just get some color in here. Boom, boom, boom. I think this might be finished tonight. I feel it's gonna be a quick drawing, and by quick I mean like, you know, within tonight. I think last time, I think it was a couple weeks ago when I did an art, hopped on to do some art, and I think it was Usagi. It was a second Usagi drawing, but I didn't get to finish it. So we'll probably take a look after, once we've done this one. Bow, 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 bow. He's got this jacket that that has the arms, like the wrist part is like up a little bit, not quite covering the entire like arm, like forearm. I mean, I might need to bring this up a little more. Let's see. Try to do this manually. Oh, it's a very bright color. Not too much, like somewhere around here. Oh boy. Whenever I pick a color, it just like resets the transparency bar all the way. I feel like I could add like 8-bit version of him in the corner here, just for folks that are not familiar with the NES game. Also, let me see. Or just some things. Okay. Hey there, Clyde. How's work? Drawing a Jason Voorhees tonight, since Friday the 13th is coming up, and I'm basing this off of the NES game. I used to play the NES game with my uncle back in the day. This is back when I used to live on the at the old address, the old address when I was a kid. It was a Rock Street. That's the old address on Rock Street. It's quite funny because back then there would be a band, there would be a rock band that would play a lot on the weekends. They would practice a lot, and they were loud. And they lived next door. I don't know what ever happened. Like if I want to find out what band that was. That was always playing. They just happened to be on Rock Street, you know? So it just makes sense for them to be there, to be playing. But then, yeah, at the same time, I have family members that you know, also play band, which I also have to make flyers for. Because they have a gig coming up. But yeah, that other rock band that had that would just play and practice. Like I would always hear them, and I would always see them through the window, because they're, you know, they're just right next door. And sometimes they would have you know, they would appear in the window, their window, in the summertime. Yeah, just hear the drums, the cymbals going off, and the guitars. So it's just funny that they just happen to, there just happens to be a rock band just playing on Rock Street. It's funny. Back in the early 90s. We didn't move until like 94. 94 around Halloween, I think. Just before Halloween. My sister and I would go trick-or-treating right after the move. We almost got lost too. We found our way. Alright. Let me see. I think the hand is pretty okay. Just this wrist part again. Yeah, would have like my uncle would have the Nintendo hooked up to the big TV. It's one of those. So back in the early 90s, we had my grandpa would have this large TV, like one of those TVs that's like encased in like a wooden box, and it had one of those dials, you know, those old TVs with the dials, and that's what we had to play our, you know, Nintendo and Super Nintendo on. and I would sneak upstairs to play it. But yeah, there'll be days where, you know, there's a lot of different games to play. Street Fighter, mostly like fighting games and beat 'em ups. But we'd have like you know, Friday the 13th. Wait. Audio is very low. Interesting. Hold up, let me check. Yeah, I may have adjusted some things. Hold on, let me see. Alright, I'm gonna have to give it like a boost. Testing. Alright, I think this should help a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I think what happened was I went to Windows. I did a lot of software. I searched up a lot of software to you know, to install, including Photoshop. So I got Photoshop installed now. Also, I hope this. I think this should do it, right? And I was looking at the Windows settings, and it must have like triggered Windows to auto adjust the microphone volume. So this should help. Now it's better. Cool. Oh man, I just like told my story, and it must have been on low volume. Yeah, it's okay. I should have looked on the OBS side to see how the levels are. But I was just talking about how you know, we grew up playing the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Jason video game, the Friday the 13th Jason video game, and how we never beat it. We were always chasing around, and we always get excited when we find Jason in one of the rooms. Have you ever played it, Clyde? You ever played the Friday the 13th video game? The old one, and the new one. If you've ever played the new one, that's another decent one, I think. I never got to play the new one though. But as for the old one on the NES, I've always wanted to get my own copy of it, and I would see it in flea markets for like $15, and $15 that I would not have, you know. Or at least that's what I remember the price was back then. This is back in like the early 90s. And I was a, you know, big fan of Jason back then growing up. Out of all the horror icons, I always loved Jason. You played it? Nice. You ever beat it? Like me and my uncle would play it, but we never beat it. Alright, let's see. Let's try and get all the dots. Keep it purple. When Framingham got it for $2 at flea market, oh man. I remember seeing for like a lot more. I don't remember the exact price, but I remember seeing it at like double digits. But this is back in like the early 90s. Like we would flip through the boxes of like NES carts, and I would see I would see the Friday the 13th one, and like I would so want it, even though I didn't see any gameplay of it, but I see him on the box art or on the cartridge art, and oh man, I just wanted to have it, you know. and I think I was there with my neighbors. It was an indoor one too. Try and get these dots in. Yeah, it was just anything with Jason on it was like so cool. No. Apparently there was also a Nightmare on Elm Street video game for the NES. I never played that one. Or I never knew anyone who had it. It's usually the Friday the 13th video game that that folks tend to have. Ba, 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 ba. I was mentioning earlier that been meaning to maybe watch the either the original or maybe the remake of Friday the 13th movie. I gotta see which service they're on. It might be on HBO Max. I think I saw something. Could be on HBO Max. I'm not sure if these eyes are the right shape. Looks like it goes up this way. Oh man, I totally forgot to save. There we go. That should do it. The game back then because I thought the gameplay was unique. Also the background music. Oh yeah, the background music is pretty neat too. At least from what I remember. Like even for like NES music, like it was still pretty neat to listen to. But I was more excited for the just to see Jason on screen and seeing how he looks in the video game. Like that was most exciting for me. Like as a kid back then. I was a Freddy fan, so I was when I was younger. Oh yeah. I mean, I like all of them, but I think I was mostly like Jason. He's got the mask. He's got the cool looking hockey mask. But like over time, I start to like Freddy a little more, just for the comedy, and also just because the concept of dreams. I learned to appreciate it a lot more. I mean, the movies were always fun already. It's got a lot of neat concepts, and especially the one, I think one of the Dream Warriors, where they had the comic book guy that draws, like he gets sucked into the drawing. Like that was a pinnacle moment for me, you know, because like I would draw as well, and like, and just seeing that displayed in the movie was pretty cool. Let's see, go back to black here, because I don't think there was anything else that had that sort of thing, like an artist, like a horror film that had, you know, had anything to do with art. So to see that in a Nightmare on Elm Street film was pretty neat. And that was like what, part 3 or part 4? But yeah, I think yeah, it took me a bit of time to really appreciate the Nightmare films. I was more into Shocker, the other Wes Craven film. But I think it was like what, 89 when that came out. So it was just after like the success of the Nightmare films already, and they were pumping out sequel after sequel. So I think it was in its like what, second or third film, because the second film came out in 85 for the Nightmare series. So I think by 89, I think 88 was when they came out with the third film. So then there was also the TV series. Oh boy, can't believe this is starting to come out really well. Alright, let's go for a darker purple back here. I think for the bands need to be really dark purple. And I remember the Friday films had Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman was like in a lot of things. He was in the Goonies. Like he was the kid. Both Corys, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. It was sad what they had gone through back then, but a lot of that behind the scenes have been revealed now, thankfully. Alright, let's go for a more darker purple. I always thought Jason was just a hoodlum in a ski mask. Ski mask? Are there ski masks? You mean hockey masks? Yeah, there was a time when Jason would head to New York. he gets lost in New York, and yeah, still chasing teens across the streets in the subway and all that. It was pretty funny. They put him in a lot of places. He even went to space. Especially when we watched Ninja Turtles 1. Oh, yeah, definitely. Wait, did they... Was there, like, a reference or anything in, The first Turtles movie? I forget. That sound funny? Yeah. No, I mean like even seeing that for the first time, because they used to do like marathons and stuff on TV for like Friday the 13th. So they would show like all the films, and I would sit and watch all of them. And this was like on TNT or something, like the TNT channel, either the TNT or USA, one of those channels. They would do a lot of horror films, marathons, the Chucky series, Nightmare, you know, Friday the 13th and stuff. And usually, you know, whenever there's a Friday the 13th day, that's when they would do it. They would play all the movies, and then we make it all the way to, you know, the part where he goes to New York. And I just specifically remember the part where he just kicks the stereo. There was like a gang. There's a group of punks that are just, you know, listening to the radio and stuff, blasting music and stuff, and then like Jason would come in and just kicks the stereo, and then those punks just got up like, what? Then Jason turns around and is like, you know, spooks them a bit. It was pretty funny to see that moment. Casey Jones and oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Casey Jones. Yeah, that's the other guy who also has a hockey mask and a hockey stick. Not ski mask, hockey mask. Sports, man, sports. But yeah, that's what you mean by the Jason. Yeah, not to be confused with Casey Jones. That's you know, totally different character. But yeah, Casey Jones, first Turtles film, meets up with Raph at the park, Central Park in New York City. That was pretty neat. That was a pretty cool moment. And then they fought in that park, with Raph ending up in the trash can. That was pretty fun. Let me go a little bit darker here. They did a reference of that. I forgot where, in which iteration, but they referenced that scene in a later Turtles iteration. It was really neat. I think one of the animated series did a, you know, a throwback to that. Uh, 767 kid back then, so I didn't think much of it. Yeah. No, because like Jason wouldn't talk either, so we would know the difference. Because I knew Casey Jones already, because you know, he would also appear in the cartoon. Like, you would have to watch the cartoon to know Casey Jones. But even then, I feel like he's already his own character. And you know, we know the names when you watch the movie enough times. You get your April, you get your Splinter. Then he came back for the sequel. Actually, I don't remember seeing him in Turtles Secret of the Ooze. I know he came back in the third film when they went to Japan. And then Casey just like Casey stayed in New York, but he stayed at the Turtles lair in the sewer. Or not the sewer, but like, you know, the place that they were staying at. The new place. And got to hang out with the Japanese guys who traveled from the past. So that was the third film. I forgot what happened in the second film. I don't think we got to see much of Casey in the second film, from what I recall. I think most of the focus was on Kino, which was the new kid, the pizza delivery kid. And he got to hang out with the turtles most of the time because he was like thinking to join the Foot. And then Raph was there with him. Then Raph got caught. Yeah, he was in the first one. He was introduced in the first film. Fought with Raph in the park. I forgot who the actor was for that guy. I don't think I've seen him much in any other film other than the Turtles films. But I do know that the original April actress came back to star in the recent Turtles film. I think it was the second Turtles film that the Bay Turtles, I mean, was when she came back. She was sort of the cameo. Although she was playing her... She was playing as the boss of April, I think, or something like that. Because the new April was played by Megan Fox. But then, you know, that Megan Fox character got to meet up with the old April O'Neil, which was a really neat Easter egg for Turtles fans. Like, you would have to recognize their faces to remember, to know what that scene meant. Alright, I'm seeing it add some shadows here. I'm not sure if I should keep the background black. I probably should add some background. Something in the background, maybe. Some trees or something. Just get some shadows in this. Yeah, I was saying how like we used to live on Rock Street, and there would be a rock band that would play on the weekends. This was back in like the early 90s. And there would be a band that would play across the street. They would live next door. And they would practice on the weekends. It's just funny to see like a rock band playing on Rock Street. Those were some of my memories in those years. Get a lot of shadows here. I don't remember if Halloween ever has ever had a video game. Like, was there a video game based on the Halloween series? Like, officially? Because I don't recall at all. There was one fan game that was made, but it got shut down they had to rename their game and change some of the character designs. It later got transformed into Babysitter Bloodbath or something like that. It was made by Puppet Combo, I think. Yeah, Puppet Combo, which are known for a lot of the similar style horror game. I should probably play on stream someday. I still have the that Halloween one that he did before they had to readjust it. I only got to play it once. It makes me wonder if there would ever be like a Friday the 13th game ever again, like an official one. Because the one that Gun Media made is it's no longer getting updates, unfortunately. The last thing they ever did was having it port over to the Switch, and that was it. That's the last I've heard of it. It might still be getting like patches here and there, but like no further like content updates are being added to it. Bow, bow. There's gonna be a lot of shadows here. Looking very purpley. Perfect for Twitch. Got that purple gear. From what I recall from the Nightmare on Elm Street video game that was on the NES, the sprite work for Freddy was red and purple, I think. I know he had either red or brown. It might have been red and brown, now that I think about it. So he definitely had a different color palette than Jason in terms of NES sprites. And then there was also the Predator video game based on Predator. And I know for that, the Predator sprite was also purple, like completely purple. Just like Jason, I think. Either purple or blue. And there was a lot of cool properties, different IPs that were getting video game counterparts to promote the films. I think the pinnacle moment was when they had Alien versus Predator, well, that one, and also Terminator versus RoboCop. That was one really cool crossover event on a Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Super Genesis. Yeah, the 16-bit era. And yeah, that was a pretty cool game. I always want that sort of crossover to happen in the movies, but it just never happened. Bow, 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 bow. I'm looking over to the OBS preview, and the purple looks really bright. As it should, I guess. I think the cyan on his clothes makes it stand out a little more. Yeah, that'd be cool, right? They did it in the comics and the video games, but they never did it in the movies. I think they wanted to. It was sort of almost reaching to that point when they could have, because they were trying to revive those two franchises, both Terminator and RoboCop, which is why we saw like the remakes, the RoboCop remake, many years ago. Was it back in 2015, 2014, 2015 when it came out, something like that? I remember being pretty hype about it, but then a lot of the old fans, like we, did not like the new design of RoboCop. I mean, the actor was fine too, but like, man, I spotted so many different things with that movie that was just not good. Like they did it wrong. So many what's the word I'm looking for? Like incorrect things. Like there was a movie goof that I spotted that no one else has mentioned. It's probably listed by now on IMDb, but back when it was new, like I don't think it was listed yet. Cause I remember looking. But yeah, that remake was not great. Special effects and stuff, you know, typical, but RoboCop is not supposed to be able to jump. Let me see this new RoboCop able to jump. It looks cool and stuff, but it's not RoboCop. It's a totally different, like, character altogether that wants to be RoboCop. That guy was like infinitely better than RoboCop. Better in not so, you know, good way. I don't know the right word to use it, but like technically it was just a more advanced, like, you know, robotic character. But the RoboCop that we know is not, that's not the RoboCop that we know. Like some of us that, you know, grew up on RoboCop. Yeah, there was a RoboCop game on the NES, I think. And then there was, you know, like once we stepped into like Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, that's when we got the Terminator versus RoboCop. And I think they were fighting aliens. There was like, I don't know. I think I vaguely remember RoboCop, Terminator, and then aliens or something like that. Like that was a cool, like, major crossover. I don't know if we'd ever get that in the movies at all. Oh man. Yeah, this image is definitely coming along. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, looks like he has like another band back here. Good old Jason. He's supposed to have some hair sticking out too. Possibly. I think according to the NECA toy, they also, yeah, they actually did an action figure for this specific retro Jason with the NES colors. And Yeah, I don't think that version has hair sticking out or anything. They make their figures look so realistic. I remember spotting like Ash Williams from the Evil Dead series at a local Target. It looked so cool. I wanted to pick it up, but I don't know. I didn't want to feel like collecting all the figures. Because I think once I get one, I would have to have all of them, right? That's the thing with like action figures. Yeah, like once you pick one, like oh, gotta have the rest of them. Save that. Not sure if that's the right color. Definitely want to have like some sort of light behind them. Bow, bow, bow. Maybe I should keep it cyan. That's cyan color. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, I gotta set a reminder for myself. There's a movie I'm trying to catch, and we're doing a sort of like watch along. There's a watch along event happening soon. I think it's tomorrow. For a certain movie, and hopefully I don't miss out on it because it's supposed to take place like when I usually stream. So I think tomorrow's stream is going to be a tad late, but definitely earlier than when I hop on tonight, I think, or perhaps even around the same time. Because I definitely want to catch, unless I do like an early days time stream, I think that would probably work too. But depending on what happens tomorrow. This color combination is pretty cool. Oh man, see, I like mixing a lot of colors together. But the contrast for this is really neat. Makes it look like it's glowing in the dark or something. Bow, 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 bow. Da, da, da. It's got those pockets. I think I might want to keep it to like more darker purple for the pockets. Bow, 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 bow. Alright, now I gotta fix his hands. Ba-ba-ba-ba. It's a little more harder. You know, in the Freddy vs. Jason film, they were planning to put Ash Williams in there, and also Pinhead, I think. At one point, they were contemplating to get a whole bunch of other characters in there, including Ash Williams, Pinhead, and even Leatherface. And they just couldn't get the license for each of those characters. So they wrote it in a way where they could potentially get them in the sequel, because they were planning to have sequels for that series. And yeah, they only managed to make like one movie, and that was it. But what we had was pretty neat. It still has, you know, it's still a lot of fun just to see both those characters duke it out. Fire versus water, they got that elemental thing to it, which is pretty neat. Like Jason had the water, like he was afraid of water, and then Freddy had the fire. Like he was afraid of the fire. So it's like, it's pretty neat to have that, just to start off with. Man, I don't know about this finger, man. I feel like I gotta fix these fingers. Get some more shadows over here. Gotta put some dirt and scratches on his mask. Can't be looking too clean. You know, the one character that they don't have in Dead by Daylight is Jason. They have all the or at least most of the major characters, like horror icons. They just don't have Jason. They have Pinhead in there too. Pinhead, Leatherface, Ghostface, Billy from Saw, Billy the Puppet. They even have Sadako from The Ring. Ah, speaking of which, I kind of want to rewatch The Ring again. I've been meaning to rewatch it when they announced Sadako for Dead by Daylight. I even made like animated GIFs captured from the reveal trailer. I think if you dig it up in Discord, you'll be able to find it. I think I've also attached my name to it. Boom, boom, boom. There we go, getting some shadows in. Looks a lot more closer to how it should. Bow, 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 bow. We should use the purples for the shadows. Oh man, I like that shading. Now it's coming out, coming along pretty well. Let's get a little bit darker. Bow, bow. Oh man. Alright, let's get these hands fixed. Let's get a little bit darker here. Oh, did you catch the Nintendo Indie World showcase today? It's not really that important, but like they did announce some indie titles that are making its way over to Switch. And most of which are already on Steam. They're just making its way to the consoles. Yeah, there's a video archive of it, but it's not really important. It's like it's very underwhelming compared to previous showcases. But there's like a lack of titles that they announced. It's just a little short one though. I think the only title that was like exciting or worth mentioning was that crab game. I think that's probably the most exciting one of the bunch. There's a few others that were announced that I played demos of on Steam, and they're pretty neat. But yeah, there's just Steam games that are just making its way over to Switch. Oh, you saw some screenshots. Nice. Yeah, I didn't have any expectations on what they would announce, but what we saw were okay. There we go, we got the hand. I feel like I need to go a little bit more darker with the hand. Man, I should have hopped on a little earlier. I wanted to hop on like in the evening, but just got way too tired. I have to take a nap. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this hand. I'll probably just keep it like folded, or maybe have the fingers come out this way or something. I don't know. Normally he would wear gloves, I think. Like most of the films, he would wear gloves. You don't normally see him like without gloves, though, I think. I gotta definitely have to like rewatch the Friday films again. I've been meaning to like re-marathon it some years ago, which just never got around to it. It is also the Crystal Lake Memories, which is like a documentary where they interview all the actors and producers and stuff. Like 6 hours long. I think a lot longer than the Never Sleep. Is it Never Sleep Again? Which was the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. I remember catching that on Hulu. Back when Hulu was like brand new. It's a fresh new service. But yeah, they had Never Sleep on there. And Camp Crystal Lake, I think. The Crystal Lake Memories? I think it's Crystal Lake Memories. Was the documentary for the Friday the 13th series. Let's see. Gotta get this pinky out. It's weird having to draw his fingers like this. Ba-bum, ba-bum. It's a pretty long pinky. Hey there, butt cramps. Yep, we got Jason on board. Friday the 13th is coming up, so I want to try to do something to, you know, make a tribute to one of my favorite horror icons growing up. My god, he's got longer fingers now. Oh my gosh. Bow, 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 bow. Fix his hand up a bit. You gotta have his palm at the bottom here. Perfect day to watch Jason. It's gonna be a hot day that day. Yeah? Man, I haven't put out the ACs yet. I feel like once we hit June is probably when it's gonna get like way hotter. Man, his hand is so weird. He's almost got like skeleton hands. I know his nails are like supposed to be black or something like that. At least in the films, they were. From memory, I think they were a little bit more like dark. I wonder if there's like more people playing the Friday the 13th video game now that we're getting closer to the date. I'll probably have to keep a tab open to watch the category for that game, see if any folks are playing it. Fix his thumb. Oh boy. I think this thumb should come out this way. Yeah, something like that, I think. Let's get really light. Oh, that's a very bright purple. Let's get the dark one back. It almost looks like the Joker. Joker also wears like this kind of purple. Like Freddy vs. Jason? Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason is fine. I was just talking about it earlier. Directed by, what, John M. Chu, I think? He's known for a lot of martial arts films, so like seeing him do a horror film, and you can see some of the style when he made Freddy vs. Jason. And like even during the fight scenes, I mean the fight scenes alone, like you can tell that you know, requires choreography. So having John, wait, let me look this up. Is it John M. Chu? Let's see. And I know that Roy Lee was also involved. And as I mentioned, Roy Lee is responsible for... Oh, Ronnie Yu, that's what it is. Ronnie Yu. Is it Ronnie Yu and Roy Lee? Let me see. So Ronnie Yu was... Wow, why did I think of, like, John Chu? There was someone else. Let me see. So Ronnie Yu was the director. Let's see what else he's worked on. Oh, he worked on Bride of Chucky. Yeah, there you go. Hong Kong film director. Let's see if there's any notable films that he's done in the past. Oh, he did Warriors of Virtue. Wow. Remember Warriors of Virtue? The kangaroos? They had like action figures and stuff. Warriors of Virtue. There was 2 movies with the kangaroos. It's kind of like Ninja Turtles. If you like Ninja Turtles, there was Warriors of Virtue that came out in the 90s, like late 90s. I knew quite a few people. One of my friends' name is Moni. Was also into Warriors of Virtue. Like, we used to see commercials on TV. That's how we found out about it. And there would be toy commercials, like commercials for the toys that they were trying to push out. I think that film. Let me check. When Warriors of Virtue was made. 1997. Ronnie Yu. The second film was in 2002. So that was like 20 years ago. Return to Tao. But yeah, it's like a martial arts, kangaroos. It was pretty neat. Although a lot of the action scenes were like, it's so weird how they made it. It's like it's 15 frames per second or something, and the way they move, it's like so blurry. Wow, they never re-released it on Blu-ray. It only ever got to like a DVD release, and that was it. Wow, this is back in May 2nd, 1997, for the first film. Oh wow, Kevin Smith was in the second film. I don't remember much from the second film, but I know that they continued the story. Like, they picked up right after the first one, and there was a lot more happening with the story, and it was just a lot packed in like both those films. I feel like they could have turned it into a series, like maybe even a cartoon series, like Ninja Turtles or something. So Ronnie Yu also did Bride of Chucky. Not very well liked. That was the one that brought Jennifer Tilly. Like, she became a doll in that one. Then after Bride of Chucky, he did the 51st States and then Freddy vs. Jason in 2003. Oh, he also did Fearless right after. Wow, Jet Li Fearless. I remember that one. The last one he did was 2013 film Saving General Yang, Hong Kong film. That's the last. I guess that's the last we heard of Ron Yu. I don't know. I think yeah. After that, Freddy vs. Jason, it was just back to martial arts films for him. Wait, so was Roy Lee involved with this? Let me see. Oh, sorry about that. Roy. Nope. Why did I think of Roy Lee? Interesting. Never got to see it. Remember, wanted to see it at the theater. Oh yeah. Yeah, Warriors of Virtue. I feel like not a lot of people would remember that that series. It was short-lived. I don't think it hit like mainstream or anything, but it definitely was a thing back in those years. Let's see. They were trying to capitalize on, you know, like the whole Ninja Turtles hype. But because it definitely brought me in, like it made me want to get into that franchise. And they had a toy line and stuff at KB's Toys. I remember seeing those at KB Toy Store. I just couldn't buy them. I was there to buy something else. Alright, let's give this guy some knuckles. Whoa. Let's make sure I've got, oh, I see. I had a tap in the background that I was hearing. Bow, bow. I'm trying to think of what I could add in the background. Maybe trees or something? Because I feel like trees would be important. I mean, he has had like a camp area and stuff. Here, let me... I should probably save it. I'll probably start adding some trees. I'll just add like bits and pieces here. Man. I definitely want to get it to blend with the black. Having a black background is great, because it makes the character stand out. Oh, I don't know about this green. This is like a little bit too green. Maybe I should go for a darker green. There you go, something like this, I think. I remember the 2009 remake of Friday the 13th wasn't all that great. But I think one thing they got right was the costume, and that was pretty much it. Ba, 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 ba. Should probably just like make some trees, or I mean having the bark of the trees in the background, like the branches and stuff. Not so much the leaves, but like the branches, I think, and the bark. Yeah, put some over here too. Maybe have a cabin. A small cabin in the back somewhere here or something. There was another slasher film that came out just around a time when Friday the 13th first came out, and it also had a like a guy with a messed up face went around and slashed each of the teenagers, and it also took place at a campsite, or a camp area, and I think it came out like a year after. I'm trying to remember what it's called. The Burning. Yeah, The Burning. And yeah, that was the one where he burns at the end. And then it shows his face. They finally showed his face. And yeah, he looks pretty much just like Jason. Before they even reveal Jason in the third film. So the third film of the Friday series wasn't out till much later. So I think The Burning was like 81. So it was just after the first Friday, which was 1980. So The Burning did a lot of things before the Friday series. Because the first Friday film had his mother. His mother was the killer. They didn't start showing Jason. Jason didn't appear until like the very end of the film. Like he pops up, but he was in his infant stage. But he didn't get his signature look until like the third film. Like he had, in part 2, he had his bag. He had the bag face, and I think that I remember hearing the director or whoever did the second film regretting that he added a bag on his face. I think it was in Eli Roth's History of Horror, where he interviewed the directors and stuff for various horror films, and that's where they said it, where they regretted having him wear a mask or having him wear a bag on his head. Alright, let's get some branches in there. I'll just make like little marks here and there. Bum ba dum ba dum. Bow 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 bow. Maybe I'll have like, I don't know, bits of a cabin back here or something. Maybe I'll make this like a nighttime scene. It should be like a little bit more lighter color, right? Oh. I mean, it's not hard. It's not easy to play around with like light colors on a dark background, because they come off really, really like contrasty. Gotta be really careful to not do too much. I think this should be fine. I feel like I could add some like stars in the back too. Oh yeah, I gotta keep in mind that this is gonna be part of a time lapse, and I feel like having it in widescreen, like I gotta keep in mind the 16:9 ratio. So the top part is going to be cut. Might as well add some down here. Yeah, I feel like I should have added more stars sooner. Yeah, I think this is fine. Can probably add some more greens, browns around them. Get some random branches here. Ba-da-ba-dum. Ba-ba-dum-ba-dum. What's going on with this branch here? I feel like it should be. Actually, I think downward it would be fine. So normally some trees would have their branches go down that way. I definitely would have to add some more so that it looks like it's part of a a bigger tree on the side here somewhere. Get some different branches around. It kind of makes me think of Evil Dead. Evil Dead also takes place like in the woods, in a cabin. Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell. Yeah, let's get some more branches here. I wonder if they would ever do a sequel to that, the Evil Dead remake. I think they were supposed to be working on it, but I haven't heard any news from it. Like there was supposed to be, like the story for that is that the girl that survived in the remake gets to meet up with Ash Williams' character, or so Bruce Campbell would replay his role, and then he gets to meet up with the actress that was in the remake. I forgot what her name was, her character's name in the film. feel like I should add some more like grays or browns along with the blacks, I think. So I don't want these branches to appear too much. Looking over to OBS, it looks like they're a little too bright. So I might want to darken these a little bit, just to give it a little bit more depth. There we go. Not too much. Ba-ba-do. Go. Thinning the branches a bit. And get some of these too. I think the light black would make it appear more blurred. Especially since we're working with like a single layer canvas. Oh, I gotta do the axe. Ba-da-ba-da. Alright, let's get some more greens. I think I'll probably add some more down here or something. Oh. Definitely have to save that. A little bit too green. Should probably add like grays or something. Ba-ba. Have you played Splatterhouse? I know of Splatterhouse. I don't think I ever got to play it. I remember seeing it pop up on the Wii Virtual Console when they put out like, you know, classic games on the Wii. And I saw Splatterhouse continues to pop up in the shop, like part 1 and 2, I think. And I just never got to, you know, purchase it and play it. There was also a remake that came out. It was in 3D and stuff. It was for the Xbox 360, PlayStation. I think it was also on PC, I'm not sure. But one of these days, I'll definitely want to replay it. I heard it's a pretty hard game. Like, pretty difficult to beat. I remember seeing a few folks playing it and having a hard time to complete it. So I can't wait to try it myself. But yeah, it's pretty much like you know, you're pretty much playing like Jason and just beating up like other characters. It's pretty much like a 3D beat 'em up. Like that's the genre. Yeah, one of these days when I get a hold of it, definitely definitely want to play it. Awesome game of its time. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, it was for like the yeah, I think initially it was on the 360, right? Because I remember it being on there. Let's see. This guy has no legs. Should probably add some legs to him, huh? Let's go with the dark purple. Oh my gosh. The solid dark purple. Let's go with the lighter one. Sega Genesis on the old ones? Nice. Yeah, that's the one I remember too. I remember there being a Japanese version of Splatterhouse. I don't recall if that Japanese version ever came to the US or not. But there was indeed a Japanese one that looked really cool. There you go. Got this guy some purple pants. Wait, is it the same color? Looks like it might be the same color. Make sure it's the right color. So far, so cool. So far, so good, but so cool. Alright. Now I just gotta fix that axe a bit. Bow, 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 bow. Make sure this axe is sharpened up. Ba ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba. Let's get a little lighter. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. Some shine. Very shiny. Towards the edge there. Horror films and Pizza Huts back in the 90s, one of the best times. Yep, I agree. This makes for some good spooky time. I think it's mostly me and my aunt and my uncle that lives upstairs. Like, or you know, back in the 90s, you know, we'd live in the apartment and stuff. And I would sneak upstairs and then we would watch, like, you know, scary movies or whatever. And then we'd be able to, like, we'd be afraid to, like, walk to the bathroom and stuff, like, on our own. Like, would have to ask each other to wait by the door, even though, like, the bathroom's like right, like 2 rooms away, you know. But we'd still, like, you know, need each other's company to make through it. Oh, I should probably give some shine to its mask too. Wait, is it? Okay. I don't want to give it too much shine, or else it would just look like it's like plastic. I mean, the mask itself is like pretty hard plastic. Oh, no. The pee bottle, yeah. No, it's like a journey. It's always a journey to the you know, to the bathroom. I remember oh my gosh, I remember watching like The Exorcist. And oh my gosh, the day or the night that we watched it at, it was so weird because it was so windy that night. It was just the perfect weather, the perfect time of night to watch The Exorcist. So we watched The Exorcist, me and my cousins. And yeah, after we finished it, oh my gosh, like the vibe, like the outside vibe, like the weather and stuff was like so, like it was windy. It was causing, like the wind was causing like some of the doors to like blow open and stuff, like unusual, and the curtains were like flowing because the wind was coming through into the house and stuff. So it was like we were walking around, we were trying to make our way downstairs to the basement to grab something. I forgot what it was. And we just had to have like one other person to go down there. There was always like a voyage, like not a, you know, it's just like an adventure to go down there to grab whatever we needed to grab down there, because we left something down there before we got up to watch the movie. So we had to go back down to grab, I think it was like a remote or something, like a TV remote or whatever. And but yeah, it was like a journey just to go down there. But it was just so like it the vibe was so creepy. Like everything was dark, and we didn't turn on the lights. For some odd reason, like the lights was like off, I think. At least that's what I remember. Really true that The Exorcist was a curse? Oh, you know what? That just reminded me. There's a series on Shudder called Cursed Films, and The Exorcist was one of them. I think they covered the story of The Exorcist. Season 1 they covered The Crow, which is really sad. Like, man, the story, like any of the stories that they cover on The Crow or Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee, like, man, it's just so sad, you know. Just the way they, you know, just the way they went. They also did like Twilight Zone. It's a series on Shudder. And they came up with a season 2. I think season 2 has like Wizard of Oz. There's some weird stuff that happened during Wizard of Oz. I need to watch that. I've been meaning to watch it like for a few weeks ever since season 2 came out. And I just hadn't got around to it. Possibly this weekend, maybe. There's another film on Shudder that I want to see called The Sadness. The Taiwanese horror film. It looks like it's like super zombies running around the city. It's kind of like the Taiwanese version of Train to Busan. But it looks really good. Definitely want to check it out this weekend to see how it is. That's the movie that I'm watching tomorrow, I think, for that watch-along thing. I think the director, I believe it's the director or producer, is going to be doing like a Q&A watch along. So he's going to be jotting down like notes, tidbits on the movies, on that particular movie that he did. So I'll definitely be tuning in for that. Yeah, look up the Sadness. It's on Shudder. It just came out. Or I think it's coming out? I don't know. I will definitely be watching it tomorrow. But yeah, the story with The Exorcist is that a lot of the people that worked on The Exorcist, the original, like, bad luck seems to happen for them. Like some of the people that worked on like the sound, I think, and like a lot of folks got sick like after the production, like after they, you know, they finished the film, and like all of it, that's, you know, all of it's, you know, done and everything already. Like part of the crew members just got sick or got into like some sort of accident resulting in death. Can't handle horror films by myself. Oh yeah. Understandable. Man, I remember when, like, I wanted to be scared. Like that's my, I mean, I told you my story, right? But like usually I want to be in that state, because I kind of miss it. Like I hadn't had that, you know, that everlasting scare for like a while. Like since The Ring, I think 2002. That one got me spooked for like 3 days straight. And then ever since then, like I got into like the whole Asian horror boom, as I like to call it. And then yeah, I don't think anything has ever hit me that hard since the 2002 Ring. I think the one that came close to it was The Eye, the original The Eye, with Angelica Lee, Hong Kong. But that one came out around that same year too, so like 2002. Got that one on DVD. And also the Grudge originals. That one was okay. I do like the directing style for that. Takashi Shimizu. I love his style of directing. Like everything he did after that, like I was pretty hyped for. Even though it's like it pales in comparison with the Ju-on series, but I still watched it regardless. Because I just love this work. But I think, what was it? I wanted to mention something else, but I forgot what I wanted to say. Asian horror film, yeah, especially Shutter. Yeah, Shutter, the Thai one. The original was so good. I watched the remake in theaters. It was pretty okay. Like, I thought the original was a lot better. I remember watching that with a friend, and we weren't too impressed by it. Like, they tried to redo the scene where the everything went pitch black, and then you get the flashes of light as the ghost got a little closer with each flash. Very cool technique, but it was so well done in the original that you just can't top it in the remake. They tried to do it in the remake, the same scene again. I was like, oh, here we go, when I first saw it. But the impact was not as great as they did in the original. And also they hired a different actress. They hired the actress that was in Ju-on. So why yeah, I'm still confused by that. Why did they choose to have her? It's supposed to be based in Thailand. Like, it was supposed to take place in Thailand. And but they have like a Japanese actress to play the part. So it's like a bit weird. I forgot who directed that one. A lot of times they drop the ball on the remakes. I think one of the best ones is still that 2002 The Ring. Like both the remake and the original were really good. When your mind goes WTF, that is when the director knows he got you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's like certain scenes in like horror films where it's just like very disgusting. For different reasons. Like you would go WTF for like different reasons. It's like, not so much the scare factor, but more of the gross factor. There'll be like guts coming out of the body and stuff, like, different things would cause different reactions depending on the viewer. So fear, of course, is subjective, and as you know, different people would react differently to certain things. It's like it's just I think it's just like a combination of like imagery and sound. Sound is also very important, which is why like A Quiet Place, I would highly recommend to watch that in theaters. So A Quiet Place, both 1 and 2, really good. Was fortunate enough to catch both of those in theaters. I think yeah, A Quiet Place 2 was when, like, after the pandemic, I think that was the first film we went to see that got us back into the theaters. It was pretty neat. And the last one prior to that was Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, the first one. Alright, let me see if we can get a bit of the eye here. One little small dot. I think his other eye is where it's supposed to open, and then this one is closed, right? I think. Let me get a darker. Make this part a little bit darker. You watch Human Centipede? Oh yeah, that's a popular one. I watched both part 1, part 2. Not. Oh yeah, there was a third one, right? Yeah, there was a third one. Third one happened in a cell. So the first film, the first Human Centipede, I'll just say it right off the bat, it was very predictable for me. Like, I remember that being talked about a lot. Everyone was hyped up about it, talking about it. Then when I got around to watching it, I was like, what? It's so predictable. I wasn't too impressed by it. You know, I wanted something more. And even that, like the whole idea of it itself is disgusting. Sure, but like, I expected more from it, you know? Like, I think by then I was already expecting a lot from, like, you know, I was more into like the art house sort of genre. So I was already watching stuff like Audition, like Takashi Miike's films and stuff by then. So I was expecting a lot more smarter choices rather than, you know, what they did in, you know, Human Centipede and stuff. But there's a lot more like that out nowadays. Like a lot more messed up films. But yeah, that would be one that a lot of people would mention. Yeah, there's 1, 2, and 3. The second one was the second one had oh, I don't want to say too much or it'll spoil, but like this, I mean, the plot's pretty simple. There's not much to the plot. Get a bunch of people and mess around with them. But there was definitely more people, more than just the 3 that you saw in the first film. So, in short, the Human Centipede got a lot bigger, or a lot longer, I should say. But in the same fashion as they're all messed up, you know. The third one even more, you know, even more so than the second film. A lot more, like, the Human Centipede is a lot longer. You know, it becomes a lot longer. And how they managed to get there to that point, you're gonna have to watch the movie and find out. But yeah, there's a third film. Came out a long time ago. Yeah, you're surprised to hear that, right? Out here mentioning Human Centipede, you didn't know there was a third one? Oh boy. Yeah, there's a lot of gore. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't categorize it as gore, but you know, there's some disgusting stuff that happened in there. Like gore would be like when, like, you know, there's like slice of the bodies like coming off and stuff. and you know, lots of blood gushing out, like that would be gore. But I think for Human Centipede, it's not as much. There's a lot more gory stuff in other films than Human Centipede. But I think the stuff that happens in Human Centipede, it just makes you squirm. Like for folks that are disgusted by that sort of thing, they get disgusted by it. Not so much you know, blood and gore or anything, but it's definitely body horror. I think that's what's categorized to. That body horror. It needs to get listed into its own genre. Yeah, body horror. I mean, it's more of like a subgenre style. But that sort of thing, you know, there's a lot of variations, and there's like elements of that in like a lot of other not so categorized in that you know, genre. I mean, there's like body horror in like films where it's like not even horror. Like I could mention like a Star Wars film where some guy gets his hand cut off by a lightsaber, and that could be considered body horror, you know? But it's not a Star Wars film. It's not like a horror film, you know? That's more like a sci-fi action. But there are moments in like certain other films that it's got some horrific scenes, you know, dismemberment and stuff, but not really considered horror and stuff. But yeah, stuff like that. All right, let's see. Oh, we still got this color. I think I'll put some final finishing touches before we start wrapping this. So far, it's coming out pretty well. I mean, I could add some more shadows, but I don't want to do too much. I'm trying to think of some others, but well, there's definitely a lot more out there. Some that don't get to hit mainstream. I feel like Human Centipede is like one of the mainstream titles, but there's a lot more out there that folks hadn't seen. Oh yeah, the Hostile series, or not Hostile, Hostel. I mean, that's the series by Eli Roth. There's a 1, 2, and 3 for that series. I think the first one's probably still the best one. Although the second movie hit a little more mainstream, I think. But the third one went straight to home video. It went straight to home video. I think I forget which store had it. It might have been Walmart. These those are good. Human Centipede, yeah. There we go. I think with the right lighting and the right shading on the hand, definitely makes it look a little more correct. Yep, add some shadows down here. Yeah, I forgot what else, but I just can't think of them right now. I think for me, my most favorable genre of like the whole horror, like anything supernatural. I think supernatural definitely hits a spot for me. Like haunted house, any haunted house, like I'm down for. The slashers are fine, but I think the slasher genre it's too overcrowded, too saturated. But but the Scream series definitely takes on that whole slasher genre and turns it upside down. I definitely enjoyed the new one, and I hear that Haley, the actress that was in part 4, is gonna be reprising her role in the sixth Scream. Scream 6 is definitely in the works. Just in case folks hadn't heard. Yeah, Scream 6 is in the works. Or at least in the talks of being created. But yeah, Haley's coming back. She's going to be playing her character again, Kirby. Which we saw that she... It looked like she didn't technically die. She got hurt. She got hurt in the fourth film, but wait, in the third film. Was it third? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah, in the fourth film. But she didn't die. So yeah, she's coming back for the sixth one. Alright, I think I might want to add some more cyan over here. A little bit of cyan. Not too much. Nope. Yeah, it should look a little bit more faded, but maybe I should blur this part out a little bit. Oh, that's a totally different purple color. Maybe I should use the darker color here. Ba, 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 ba. Man, I can't wait. I didn't get to talk about it, but there is gonna be an Evil Dead video game, or a new one anyway. There has been a couple Evil Dead video games in the past, like on a PlayStation, where you get to play as Ash Williams and stuff. It looks pretty fun. I never got to play those, but they're making a new one where it's like 4 versus 1 sort of deal, kind of like Dead by Daylight style. And yeah, that new game looks really fun. I haven't seen enough gameplay footage of it, but and it's also heading to Switch, so that is going to be neat. Yeah, that is something that I may consider playing or picking up and, you know, playing on stream and stuff. We'll see. Hey there, Blackheart. Ooh, I wish I had the D Live chat open so I can see those emotes that you got. But thanks for the hearts. I can read out the name of the emote, but I can't see how they look. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. Finishing up a drawing of Jason Voorhees here. This is the NES retro style Jason. Jason with the NES color palette, I'll just say. Yep, Friday the 13th this Friday. I do plan to watch, I think the remake, either the remake or maybe the original. I gotta see what stream service they're on. It's been a while since I've watched them. Big fan of Jason growing up. Do you have the game? No, I don't have the game. I used to follow the Kickstarter when it was called Summer Camp. That was the original title before it got renamed and became Friday the 13th video game. Or Friday the 13th the game. But yeah, I was pretty excited for it because it takes place at a camp. And then they had that teaser image of the girl in the water. And at nighttime and stuff. But we never thought that it would feature Jason until later on they got a hold of the Jason license and then changed the whole game title to Friday the 13th video game, or Friday the 13th the game, and it just pretty much surprised everyone that was into the franchise. Yeah, I was definitely there when they first put up that first Kickstarter. But even to this day, I still have yet to play it. I haven't got around to playing it. All right. Not sure what else I want to add. I could add my name in the back or down here or something. Actually, you know what? Let me see if. Get a little bit the ground colored a bit. Oh, that's a little too much. But I did get to play the puzzle one. There was a puzzle game that had the Jason or the Friday the 13th like IP. Is it called Friday the 13th Puzzle Game? That's on Steam? Because that's the one I played. It's more of a puzzle game that's based off of Sleepaway Camp or something like that. Or whichever that mobile puzzle game was. But it just had like a Friday the 13th skin over it. That's the one I played. But it was sort of like a companion app with the Friday the 13th game that was out at the time. Let's see. I think adding those grays at the bottom gives it a little bit more dimension. Although it's still a little too light. I want to try and darken it with the black a little bit more. Get some blacks. Do. Oh my gosh, I don't know if that worked or not. Alright, let's see. My gosh. Oh, I think that's as light as it can go. But yeah, there is an Evil Dead game that's gonna be on its way out soon. At least it's still in the works, and it's still announcing like characters that's gonna be added to it. And it's coming out for Switch as well. I'm not sure if I want to stick to playing on Switch or maybe play on PC, but we'll see. But yeah, I do consider playing that one once it's out, I think. I don't know. I'll definitely keep my eyes on it to see what else is going to be added to it. Alright, save that. Let's write my name. I'll keep it to this white color here. Oh. Let's go for a more grayer color. It's tough to like write out the letters here. Ba ba ba. Oh boy. There you go, something like that. Should probably add the year. If only I can zoom in on it, but it can't. Wow. Can't even write a number 2. Come on. There we go. There you go, something like that. Alright, I'm gonna save this. I think I may just share this on Steam, like right on the day. Friday the 13th, I'll probably put this back up and share it. Alright, so I think that's it. I'm gonna probably leave this window open for like a few minutes. Give more thumbs up. Yeah, I'll probably just leave it on the screen for a few minutes. Let me step away for a bit. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Let me see. I'll probably put like some. I'll probably fix the font a little bit more before I close it out. But yeah, I tend to do art on Wednesdays. Sometimes I swap it to video games, but if I do art, it would be on Wednesday nights. But then, like, at the same time, it's pretty tough to try to think of something to draw. I thought, you know what? Maybe this week I'll probably do like something Jason related. Normally it would be like fan art of like video game characters or like TV shows or something. Or movies. And I guess in this case it's a movie character, so. And then Friday the 13th is coming up, so I mean might as well just do a Jason drawing, right? And it's been ages and ages since I last drew like Jason the character. So I thought this would be a great occasion to touch back on my childhood. But yeah, I don't normally draw like horror at all. Even though I'm huge into the genre, but like I barely get to draw anything that's like horror related. This is like in Inktober or something. I try to integrate horror with like video games and stuff during Inktober, just to keep it a little bit more spooky like in those drawings. But not so often I get to draw like horror characters and stuff. So yeah, this is like it's nice to get back to doing some of this. Oh yeah, that's right. I did do a Sadako drawing before. I think in one of the Inktobers I did a Sadako holding a Ring Fit controller or whatever it's called, the accessory. I think the prompt word for that Inktober was ring or something like that. So it was Ring Fit with Sadako from the Ring. So it was like something like that I would combine together. Alright, there you go. I feel like I could add some more color to the outfit, but I think this is fine. Oh yeah, maybe some more shadows on the axe. That way it doesn't look too bright of a color. Let's try that. Hopefully it's not too dark of a color. Let's get some more shadows over here. Let me see if I can get more darker color instead of like a gray. Yeah, something like that. It looks like I'm like erasing it, but definitely some shadows down here. Yeah, it's hard to like select the right color, but get some more dark ones out here. Sadly, there's no blood. There's no blood on any of these, any part of this image yet. I feel like I could add some on the axe or something. Maybe its face or mask. Ba-do. Add some textures to the axe here. Yeah, something like that. Ba-ba-do. Thin out the axe a bit here. It's supposed to like curve a little bit more, but it's pretty difficult to get that to happen. I think we've covered all the bases. Looks a lot better now with the shading and stuff. Let me see if I can get this part here to fade it a little more. I think my name just pops up a little too bright. Get some more shadows on the jacket. I like how the Scion is coming from the bottom there. It's pretty neat. Oh yeah, you're supposed to have another pocket over here. I don't know why I didn't get to draw that other pocket. Oh well. Maybe it's just like so dark that you don't see the other pocket. Let's get this side colored a little more. Ba-ba-da-ba-dow. Ba-ba-da-ba-dow. Alright, let's get a little bit of this. I don't want it to appear too much, but or else it would just like go out of whack. Yeah, I think something like that. It seems to line up with the other one, so oh, I don't know. Might be a little too much. Let me see if I can find this color again. Gotta fade over it a little bit. There you go, something like that. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, something like that. That's why it doesn't. That way it doesn't show up too much. Alrighty. Oh. This part just coming out a little bit too bright. It's as if there's like a lamp down here or something. Alright, I think that's it. It's been over a little bit over 3 hours, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it here. Yep, let's save it, and yeah, I'll probably upload this to the Steam community for Scribble right on Friday. And also in the meantime, I'll probably take the archived footage of this entire session, and then I'll turn it into a time lapse so I can upload it later for the YouTubes and or Twitter, possibly. Yeah, I'll probably do it for Twitter too. Even Twitter has this session like streaming and archived to Twitter already, but I'll probably do like a quick version of it in time lapse form for you know, folks that want to digest it on a quicker pace. So do expect like a 1 minute or 2 minute time lapse of it, of this drawing. So we'll see. All right, some take off for now. Yeah, thanks all for dropping in. Take off for now, and I shall see you in the next one. I think what, tomorrow's Thursday, right? So that means it's back to Monster Hunter 3 Ultimates? Yeah. Alright, I'll see you then. Later.
See you next time!